hit the subscribe button. Currently only 1.7% of my viewers are subscribe. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll release an exclusive special video just for you.
A thunderous explosion shattered the tranquil night in the town of Alicia, sending shockwaves through the quiet streets. Flames illuminated the dark sky as a massive alien ship crashed into the nearby forest, its impact reverberating like a sinister drumbeat. Panic surged through the townsfolk, but amidst the chaos, one man remained composed, Jimmy Hawkins, a rugged Australian explorer and ex-military strategist. Jimmy stood on his porch, his eyes locked on the eerie glow emanating from the forest. He knew this was no ordinary meteor strike. The Elysium Council's emergency summons buzzed in his ear, urging him to investigate. He grabbed his gear, his mind already racing with possibilities. "Elara, I need you," Jimmy called, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through him. Elara, an empathetic medic and Jimmy's confidant, appeared at his side, her expression a mix of concern and determination. "I'm ready, Jimmy. Let's go." As they raced toward the crash site, the forest seemed to pulsate with an otherworldly energy. The air was thick with the scent of scorched earth and something indescribably alien. Jimmy and Elara moved swiftly, their training guiding them through the dense underbrush. They reached the wreckage, and Jimmy's eyes widened at the sight before him. The alien ship, a sleek and futuristic marvel, lay in pieces, its once majestic form now twisted and broken. Amidst the debris, a girl with ethereal beauty and an aura of desolation caught Jimmy's eye. She was unlike anything he had ever seen, her skin shimmering with a faint iridescence, her eyes deep pools of cosmic secrets. "We need to get her out of here," Jimmy said, his voice low but urgent. He could sense the danger she was in, even if he couldn't yet comprehend it. As they carefully approached the girl, she stirred, her eyes fluttering open. Fear and curiosity battled for dominance in her gaze. Elara knelt beside her, her voice soothing. "It's okay. We're here to help you." The girl's lips parted, her voice barely a whisper. "Help me." Before Jimmy could respond, a voice crackled through his calm, "Hawkins, this is Dr. Silas Wren. I'm on my way to the crash site. Secure the specimen." Jimmy's jaw tightened. He knew Silas well enough to recognize the danger in his words. The xenobiologist was more interested in dissecting the alien technology, and its passenger, than in understanding them. "Silas, she's not a specimen. She's a person. We're taking her somewhere safe." Silas's voice grew colder. "This is a historic opportunity, Hawkins. Don't let your emotions cloud your judgment." Ignoring Silas, Jimmy and Elara carefully lifted the girl, who seemed to gain strength from their touch. They hurried to an abandoned cabin deep within the forest, a place where they could hide her from Silas's prying eyes. Inside the cabin, the girl sat quietly, her eyes following every movement. Jimmy tried to decipher her origins, examining fragments of the ship's technology. Meanwhile, Elara attempted to communicate with her, using simple words and gestures. "What's your name?" Elara asked gently. The girl hesitated before responding, her voice like a distant echo. "Arya." Elara smiled warmly. "Arya, we're going to keep you safe. Can you tell us where you're from?" Arya's eyes clouded with confusion and fear. "Home, far. Ship, broken. Powers, fading." Jimmy's heart clenched. Arya's vulnerability was palpable, and he knew they had to act quickly. "We need to figure out what brought her here and why," he said to Elara. "Silas won't give up easily." The next morning, whispers of the crash spread through Alicia like wildfire. The townspeople were abuzz with speculation, and Jimmy knew it was only a matter of time before Silas made his move. He and Elara kept Arya hidden, but strange phenomena began to occur around the cabin, objects levitated, lights flickered, and a faint hum of energy permeated the air. Jimmy's curiosity and protective instincts drove him to learn more. He spent hours studying the alien technology, piecing together clues about Aria's origins. Each discovery only deepened the mystery. Aria, for her part, started to trust Jimmy and Elara, sensing their genuine concern for her well-being. As days passed, Jimmy's frustration with Silas grew. The xenobiologist's intentions became increasingly clear. Silas wanted to harness Aria's powers for his own gain. Jimmy and Elara resolved to protect her at all costs, knowing that exposing Silas's true motives was their only hope. One evening, as the sun set and cast long shadows across the cabin, Aria spoke more clearly than before. "Jimmy, Elara, thank you. I feel safer." Jimmy knelt beside her, his voice firm yet gentle. "We're going to figure this out, Aria. You're not alone anymore." Elara added, her eyes shining with determination, "We'll find a way to help you, no matter what." The sense of urgency hung in the air, and Jimmy knew they had to act fast. The forest seemed to close in around them, the weight of their mission growing heavier with each passing moment. They were on the brink of something monumental, and Jimmy could feel the tension rising. The first light of dawn broke through the dense canopy, casting eerie shadows across the abandoned cabin where Jimmy, Elara, and Aria sought refuge. The atmosphere was thick with tension, an unspoken understanding that their time was running out. As Jimmy peered through a crack in the wooden wall, he noticed movement in the distance. Silas's men were closing in. "Elara, we need to move." "Now," Jimmy whispered, his voice edged with urgency. Elara nodded, her eyes reflecting a mix of fear and resolve. "Aria, can you walk? We have to leave." Aria, her strength gradually returning, stood up shakily. "Yes, I'm ready." Jimmy led them deeper into the forest, navigating through the thick underbrush with practiced ease. The air was filled with the scent of pine and damp earth, every snap of a twig and rustle of leaves amplifying the tension. They moved swiftly, their breaths synchronized in silent determination. As they traversed the forest, the ancient ruins that Jimmy had discovered in his research loomed ahead. Massive stone structures, overgrown with vines and moss, hinted at a long-lost civilization. The air around the ruins seemed to hum with latent energy, resonating with Aria's presence. "This place, it feels familiar," Aria murmured, her eyes wide with wonder. Jimmy paused, his curiosity piqued. "What do you mean?" Aria reached out, her fingers lightly touching the weathered stone. "It's like an echo, memories of my people. This is a place of power." Elara glanced at Jimmy, her expression serious. "If these ruins hold answers, we need to find them quickly. Silas won't be far behind." They ventured further into the ruins, the ancient architecture becoming more intricate and awe-inspiring. Symbols and inscriptions adorned the walls, glowing faintly as Aria approached them. Jimmy felt a surge of protectiveness. He knew these discoveries could be the key to understanding Aria's origins and powers. In the heart of the ruins, they stumbled upon a hidden chamber. The air was cooler here, the light dim and filtered through cracks in the stone ceiling. At the center of the chamber stood an altar, covered in symbols that pulsed with a soft, rhythmic light. "This must be it," Jimmy said, awe creeping into his voice. Aria approached the altar, her eyes reflecting the light. "It's a conduit. My people used these to channel energy, to connect with the universe." Before they could explore further, the sound of footsteps echoed through the ruins. Silas and his men had found them. "There's no escape, Hawkins." Silas's voice boomed, filled with cold triumph. Jimmy positioned himself between Silas and Aria, his stance protective. "You're not taking her, Silas." Silas stepped forward, his expression a mix of anger and desperation. "You don't understand the significance of what she is. This is bigger than any of us." Jimmy's eyes narrowed. "I understand more than you think. She's not a tool for your experiments." Tension crackled in the air as Silas's men raised their weapons. Elara edged closer to Aria, her hand gently resting on the girl's shoulder. Stay close to me, she whispered. Arya, sensing the impending danger, focused on the altar. The symbols began to glow brighter, their light intensifying as Arya's connection to them deepened. Suddenly, a pulse of energy surged from the altar, knocking Silas and his men off their feet. Jimmy seized the moment. Run! Get out of here! They bolted from the chamber, the ruins shaking with the force of the unleashed energy. As they emerged into the forest, Jimmy realized that they couldn't keep running forever. They needed to confront Silas and expose his true intentions to the council. We have to go back to Alicia, Jimmy said, his voice firm. We need to show the council what Silas is trying to do. Elara nodded, her eyes filled with determination. Agreed. It's the only way to keep Arya safe. Arya, still reeling from the power she had unleashed, looked at Jimmy with a mix of hope and fear. Can we trust them? Jimmy placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. We have to try. You deserve to be celebrated, not hidden away. As they made their way back to Alicia, the forest seemed to close in around them, the weight of their mission pressing heavily on their shoulders. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear, they had to protect Arya and reveal the truth, no matter the cost. The path ahead was fraught with danger, but Jimmy felt a renewed sense of purpose. Together, they would confront Silas and uncover the secrets of Arya's past, forging a future where she could thrive. The echoes of destiny resonated in every step they took, guiding them toward a reckoning that would change their lives forever. The shadows lengthened as the trio approached the outskirts of Alicia. The once bustling town now felt ominous, each step toward it weighed down by the gravity of their mission. Jimmy, Elara, and Arya moved cautiously, their senses on high alert. The flickering lights of the town offered a false sense of security, they knew Silas would stop at nothing to retrieve Arya. We need to be careful, Jimmy murmured, his eyes scanning the darkening horizon. Silas has eyes everywhere. Elara tightened her grip on Arya's hand. We'll go straight to the council. We have to make them understand what's at stake. Arya, her strength returning with every step, nodded resolutely. I trust you both. Let's do this. They slipped into the town under the cover of twilight, navigating through narrow alleyways and deserted streets. The council hall, a towering structure at the town center, loomed ahead. Jimmy could feel the weight of his responsibility pressing down on him. This confrontation would determine Arya's fate. As they neared the hall, they were intercepted by a group of council guards. The leader, a stern-faced woman named Captain Thorne, recognized Jimmy immediately. Hawkins, what's going on? We've heard rumors of an alien girl and a crashed ship. Jimmy stepped forward, his voice steady. Captain, we need to see the council. It's about Silas. He's hiding something dangerous. Thorne scrutinized them, her eyes lingering on Arya. All right, but make it quick. There's a lot of unrest in town. Inside the council chamber, the atmosphere was tense. The council members, a mix of seasoned leaders and wary officials, sat in a semicircle, their expressions a blend of curiosity and skepticism. Councillor Reed, a gray-haired man with a commanding presence, spoke first. Hawkins, explain yourself. Why have you brought this alien girl here? Jimmy took a deep breath, choosing his words carefully. This is Arya. She's not just any alien, she holds the key to understanding an ancient power. But Dr. Silas Wren wants to exploit her for his own gain. We need your help to protect her and uncover the truth. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Councillor Reed's eyes narrowed. Silas has been a trusted member of this community. These are serious accusations, Hawkins. Before Jimmy could respond, the chamber doors burst open, and Silas strode in, flanked by his men. His face was a mask of indignation. What is the meaning of this? Hawkins, you've overstepped your bounds. Jimmy's jaw clenched. You've been using your position to pursue personal gain, Silas. You've endangered us all by trying to harness powers you don't understand. Silas's eyes blazed with anger. You're a fool, Hawkins. You don't grasp the significance of what we could achieve with her abilities. Arya stepped forward, her voice clear and unwavering. I am not a tool for you to use. My powers are meant to protect and heal, not to be exploited. The council members exchanged uneasy glances. Counselor Reed raised his hand, silencing the room. We need evidence. Hawkins, can you prove your claims? Jimmy nodded, retrieving a small device from his pack. This is a recording from the ancient ruins. It shows Silas attempting to extract Arya's energy. It's dangerous and reckless. He activated the device, projecting a holographic image into the air. The council watched in silence as the events unfolded, Silas's men restraining Arya, the energy pulsing from the altar, and the subsequent chaos. When the recording ended, the room was silent. Counselor Reed's expression hardened. Silas, is this true? Silas's bravado faltered. I was only trying to understand her powers. For the benefit of us all. Reed shook his head. You've crossed a line. Arya's safety is paramount. Guards, detain Dr. Wren for further investigation. Silas's men hesitated, then reluctantly obeyed. As they led Silas away, he shot a venomous look at Jimmy. This isn't over, Hawkins. Jimmy felt a surge of relief but knew the battle wasn't entirely won. He turned to the council. We need to ensure Arya's safety. She deserves to be celebrated for who she is, not hidden away. Counselor Reed nodded. Agreed. Arya, you will be protected here. We will learn from you, but with your consent and cooperation. Arya smiled, gratitude and determination shining in her eyes. Thank you. I want to help, but only if it's done with respect and understanding. As the council session ended, Jimmy, Elara, and Arya stepped outside. The night air was cool, filled with the distant sounds of the town. Jimmy felt a sense of accomplishment but knew their journey was far from over. Elara placed a hand on Jimmy's arm. You did it. We did it. Jimmy nodded, looking at Arya. This is just the beginning. We'll face whatever comes next, together. Arya's eyes sparkled with hope. I believe in us. We'll make sure no one else suffers like I did. As they walked away from the council hall, the future felt uncertain yet filled with promise. The bonds they had forged and the truths they had uncovered would guide them in the days ahead, as they continued to protect and celebrate the extraordinary life of Arya. The night was heavy with anticipation as Jimmy, Elara, and Arya prepared for the confrontation they knew was inevitable. The air was crisp, carrying the faint scent of pine and the distant hum of the town's activity. Inside the cabin, a sense of urgency permeated every corner as they strategized their next move. We need to be ready for anything, Jimmy said, his voice low but firm. Silas won't go down without a fight. He's desperate. Elara nodded, her eyes steely with determination. We've exposed him, but he still has allies. We need to be vigilant. Arya, seated between them, radiated a quiet strength. Her experience in the ancient ruins had unlocked something within her, an understanding of her powers and their potential. I'm ready, she said softly. I won't let him use me. As dawn approached, the three of them set out for the council hall, where the final confrontation would take place. The streets of Alicia were eerily quiet, the usual bustle subdued by the tension that hung in the air. They moved quickly, their steps echoing in the stillness. Upon reaching the hall, they found Captain Thorne waiting for them. The council is prepared to hear your final arguments, she said, her expression unreadable. But be warned, Silas has brought new evidence. He won't go down easily. Jimmy squared his shoulders. We're ready. Inside, the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Council members sat in their places, their faces masks of focus and concern. Silas stood at the center, his demeanor defiant. Beside him, a holographic display flickered to life, showing data and images meant to discredit Jimmy's claims. "You've been misled," Silas began, his voice carrying a veneer of calm. "Aria's powers are dangerous, and Hawkins's actions have jeopardized our entire community." Jimmy stepped forward, his eyes locked on Silas. "Your greed is what's dangerous, Silas. You seek to exploit Aria without understanding her or the consequences." Counselor Reed raised a hand, silencing the room. "We need clarity. Hawkins, present your evidence." Jimmy nodded, activating his own holographic display. The images of the ancient ruins and Silas's attempts to harness Aria's energy played out once more. "This is the truth," Jimmy said, his voice steady. Silas sought to control something far beyond his understanding. Aria's powers are not a threat, they're a gift. Aria stepped forward, her presence commanding attention. "I am here to help, not harm. My abilities can heal, protect, and create. But they must be used with respect and wisdom." The council members exchanged glances, uncertainty wavering in their eyes. Before anyone could speak, a loud crash echoed through the hall. Silas's remaining allies had made their move, storming in with weapons drawn. "Secure the girl," one of them shouted, chaos erupting. Jimmy moved instinctively, placing himself between Aria and the attackers. Elara grabbed a nearby chair, using it to fend off the intruders. Captain Thorne barked orders, her guards struggling to regain control. Amidst the turmoil, Aria's eyes glowed with an ethereal light. She raised her hands, and a pulse of energy radiated outward, disarming the attackers and knocking them to the ground. The room fell silent, everyone stunned by the display of power. Counselor Reed stood slowly, his face pale but resolute. "This ends now. Silas, you are hereby stripped of your position and placed under arrest for endangering the community and attempting to exploit alien technology." Silas's face contorted with rage and desperation. "You fools! You don't understand what you're doing." As he was led away, the council turned their attention back to Aria. Reed spoke again, his voice gentler. "Aria, we owe you an apology and our gratitude. You have shown great restraint and courage." Aria bowed her head slightly. "I only wish to help and be accepted for who I am." Jimmy and Elara stepped forward, flanking Aria. Jimmy's voice was firm but warm. "Together, we can learn from Aria and ensure that her gifts benefit us all." The council members nodded in agreement. The atmosphere shifted from one of conflict to hopeful resolution. Plans were made to integrate Aria into the community, her knowledge and abilities respected and celebrated. As the meeting adjourned, the trio stepped out into the morning light. The town, once shadowed by fear and uncertainty, now seemed bathed in a new dawn of understanding and unity. Jimmy felt a weight lift from his shoulders, a sense of accomplishment and hope. Elara turned to him, a smile playing on her lips. "We did it, Jimmy. We really did it." Jimmy nodded, his gaze shifting to Aria. "This is just the beginning. We have a lot to learn, and a lot to build. But we'll do it together." Aria's eyes shone with gratitude. "Thank you. For everything." As they walked through the awakening town, the future felt bright and full of promise. They had faced great odds and emerged stronger, their bond forged in the fires of adversity. Together, they would create a future where everyone, no matter where they came from, could thrive and be celebrated. And so, the story of Jimmy, Elara, and Aria became a beacon of hope in Alicia, a testament to the power of unity, understanding, and the indomitable human spirit.